good morning from a slightly grey Kaunas, or Kaunas, or however you pronounce it. I massively slept in this morning. Didn't mean to. I woke up at 5:30, which is a little bit early. That was like 4:30 time, Swedish time. And then I thought, I'll go back to sleep for a little bit. No dramas. Then I woke up at about 7:30, and I thought, that's perfect. I thought I'll just catch another 10 minutes and then we'll get up for breakfast. And then I woke up at 9:30 and I thought, oh fuck. But I'd paid for the hotel breakfast, so I went downstairs to get some, and it was quite busy down on the breakfast bit. Not that great of a selection, to be fair. Just scrambled eggs is all you need, man. You need a great big tray of scrambled eggs, and there weren't any. They were like they called them fried eggs, but they've been probably fried in just like a mould. So like hockey puck eggs, which isn't massively appealing to the eye. That's quite loud. Anyway, so we're off. We're going to Poland today. I don't know if it might be a little bit of a slog, just because it's already quite late. I mean, I've normally been riding for a few hours by 10:30, so it might be a nice little change, to be fair. But we're not quite a day ahead of schedule yet. We're the best part of about 100 miles ahead of schedule. So that does give us a nice bit of wiggle room if we just want to have a really easy day. But the plan today is to get just sort of east of Warsaw. It's about 270 miles, I think, or 240 miles. But we're stopping off in a coin shop first, because Lithuania is apparently really synonymous with silver jewellery and silversmithing. So I want to go to this coin shop to see if they've got any kind of coins or whatever. I don't know, maybe. This Latvian person's a bit on the slower side of life, aren't they? So anyway, we're going to go to this coin shop. We're going to see what they got. If they got anything from like a Lithuanian mint, or whether they're just going to be like, we've got some British coins. I'm like, I don't really want one of those. Oh, what a nice guy he was. Literally spent, 25 minutes in his shop talking through. I mean, the guy in that shop is very, very passionate about coins, and I can appreciate that. I can appreciate, I love it when people have a passion that they're really into. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't always have to be glamorous. It doesn't have to be, spearfishing and rock climbing and skydiving and stuff. It's that guy loves coins, and he was he described it to me in a way. He said, I can't sell you a coin without knowing, you as a person. He said, if you took your motorcycle to the tyre shop and they tried to sell you off-road tyres for, the racetrack, or normal tyres for off-road, and I was like, wow. I was like, that guy's loves his job. So yeah, I bought. In the end, I ended up buying a silver. It was a medal. We were looking through the ones that I saw he didn't have in stock, unfortunately. It was the one with the Lithuanian castle on it, but yeah, I ended up getting. It's called the Lucky Medal. I can't remember what. I said to him, what's this coin? He said, that's not a coin, that's a medal. I said, okay. He said, yeah, Lucky Medal. And he said, yeah. He said, maybe you should get that one, it'll bring you good luck on your trip. And I thought, yeah, maybe it will. That's, nice idea. And then, so I paid him, and then in the end, he said, have you got €2? And I said, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I might well. I got €2. And so he took the €2 off me, and then he he gave me a €2, a Lithuanian €2 coin, collector's coin, and he said, "Oh, normally I sell these for €3 or €5." He said, "But for you, enjoy your trip, ride safe." He said, "For you, I'll just do a swap." I mean, it's so kind, such kindness that people display in these sort of places. They're just so, you wouldn't get that in the UK. In the UK, you'd walk in, you'd get some shop assistant who's bored and annoyed because they've got to work during July and the holidays and whatever, and then if you didn't know what you want, they wouldn't help you. They'd just walk away. And then you come somewhere like here, and everyone's so lovely. Even the lady at the reception on the hotel last night, she's like, "Oh, because there are quite a lot of bikers." And she said, "Oh, where have you come from?" And I said, "Oh, I've just come down from Latvia. I got the ferry in this morning from Sweden." And she went, how much is that in kilometres?" I said, "Oh, about 450. And she went, "Oh." She went, is it comfortable?" I said, "No." I said, No, it's not. And we had a little chat about it. And then this morning, as I was going down to check out, she was like, "Oh, where are you going today?" I said, "Oh, I'm just going to Poland today." And she said, "Oh, enjoy the torture." I had a little giggle, and I'm like, "Yeah, thank you. Sometimes a little pain isn't too bad." But yeah, they're just really such lovely people, Lithuanians. They really, really are. And Latvians as well. The Latvians I met yesterday were beautiful people. So anyway, onwards and upwards. We're off to Poland now. We got 2 hours and 42. I don't know why it doesn't say the kilometres. Normally it tells you how many K I've got left, but okay, maybe not. Yeah, 4 hours and 12 to go today. So, and obviously we had a little bit of a late start, so we're going to have to put in some. I think we might have to put in some motorway mileage today, which is boring but necessary, I think. Like I said, we're quite ahead of schedule, but I want to push maybe another day, try to get 2 days ahead of schedule, just because, I planned this trip down to sort of the last little bit. I didn't really leave myself too much spare time for, just things that you don't see coming, food poisoning or puncture or something happens to the bike or, touch wood. None of those things will happen, but, I didn't really leave myself any free days, so we're going to try and crack on today, do some good mileage. I reckon we'll do motorways until we get kind of over the Polish border, and then we'll stop, have something to eat, have something to drink, and then we'll see what we want to do after there. We might put on Kalimoto and take a slightly scenic route. But from what I understand, kind of the south of Poland is really quite pretty. But Poland again is quite flat. It's quite flat, as is this bit of Europe as well, Anyway, enough from me. Let's crack on with some mileage, and I'll touch you in a bit. Bye. Okay, ladies and gents, this is the Polish border. Just been filtering through loads of traffic. I'm not sure if I'm technically allowed to filter. I'm sure I am. I know in Germany you're not, but we're not in Germany, are we? Yeah, I didn't think that there would be an actual border. Whether there is or not, I'm not too sure. I know Poland's border's quite tight, isn't it? It's quite a firm border. At least what you see in the news. And my Polish mates have kind of told me sort of similar things. But I did think it was part of the Schengen thing, so maybe they just slow people down and then just pull people over if they don't like the look of them. Who knows? Anyway, I just met a British guy at a petrol station, which was cool. He had a car that was exactly like my mate's car, with a British number plate on it, and I don't know my mate's plate. And I thought, oh my god, is that my mate? Anyway, it wasn't. Was a British guy though. He said he'd just been visiting some relatives in Poland, so this feels a bit naughty. Anyway, well, it says there is police in 170 metres, so maybe it is an actual border. Who knows? Anyway, well, once we get past this, then we're actually in Poland. And Poland is country number 8, I think. What have we got? We've got the Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland. Country number 8. Just filled up full of fuel. So we got, well, it says 305k, but realistically it should do us for about 410, I think, 420. And then, yeah, we're gonna push on. Probably we'll do another 100k on the main roads, and then we'll turn off a little bit, and then we'll find some nice twisty stuff. We're gonna camp tonight. There's like a wild camping spot that I've seen, and yeah, so we're gonna go there, save a little bit of money, use the tent, go from there. Oh yeah, they are putting some people over, having a wee look inside the. Wouldn't it be fucking hilarious if like 20 blokes just jumped out of that? just made a bolt for Poland. Anyway, what's in there? Not much? No. Oh, he is telling people to go round there. Okay, fair enough. Guess we'll go that way, shall we? Thank you, mate. Something tells me I might have to turn this camera off. Okay, I'll chat to you soon. Bye. Well, that was rather anticlimactic. They are checking everyone's car boot, and if you got a truck, they want to have a look inside it. I thought they were going to ask my passport. They were asking for people's passports and driving licenses and stuff, and then she took one look at me, walked around the back of the bike, looked at the number plate, and just sent me on my way. Maybe they like the British here, I don't know. Maybe she realised I couldn't smuggle any passengers in a duffel bag. I mean, I could do, technically. If you had a contortionist, you could probably fit them in there, or a child, or a little person, I suppose. You could probably put them in a duffel. Anyway, enough like that. We're in Poland. Hey, welcome to Poland, everyone. Yeah, so like I said, we got, well, full tank now. So this should last us the rest of the day. 301k indicated. But that is all on motorways, and we're not doing motorways today. We're going to go, well, we're going to go as far as we can on the motorways. We'll do another hour, maybe another hour and a half, and then we'll turn off and we'll do some nice wiggly stuff. The place we're going tonight is a wild camping spot I found on an app called Stay Free, or Free Stays, which is a really good app. I would recommend it for people that are, if you're in a camper or you're motor camping or motor touring. It kind of tells you like where the campsites are, where the wild spots are, where the kind of unofficial campsites but people camp there, that kind of stuff are. So that's what we're doing. So I think it's about 30k, 40k outside of Warsaw, and so we're going to stay there, but we don't really want to get there at 3:30. It'd be quite boring if we get there really early. We probably want to rock up around about 6, I would say 6, 7. It's a little tip if you are going to wild camp somewhere. Turn up quite late, unpack, find yourself a little spot where you're not going to bother people, and you're not going to be seen or draw too much attention to yourself. Turn up quite late, unpack, get your kit, and then leave quite early is normally the best way to do it. And there's, obviously, if you stay at a campsite, you can turn up whatever time you like, but yeah, if you're wild camping, normally that's the best way to do it. Is arrive late, set up camp, have something to eat, get your kit, and then tidy everything up and shoot off fairly early in the morning. Anyway, enough like that. So we're in Poland, country number 8. So I think we've got, if I'm not mistaken, I think we've maybe got 6 more countries to go. What have we got? Poland, we've got Slovakia, Czech, Hungary, Serbia, Bosnia, Croatia, Slovenia, Italy, Switzerland, Luxembourg, Lithuania, France, Belgium. Oh, we've got a load loads left. Oh my god, what am I talking about? Okay, fine. Well, loads of countries left. The trip's not over yet, folks. The trip's not over yet. Anyway, I'm going to turn this off now, get my music on, and then we'll, I'll see you a little bit later on in the trip. We just also, when we were on the motorway going through Lithuania, I saw the turn-off to go to the Russian border, and it got me thinking, can you go to Russia at the moment? I mean, presumably you need visas and stuff, but part of me was quite tempted just to ride up to the border, just have a little nose about, but road borders are really boring places. And I don't know if the border force would take kindly to me riding up to the border just to take a picture. Probably not. Anyway, we're in Poland. Russia's that way somewhere, sort of Kaliningrad, and main Russia, or well, Belarus is that way, which is obviously basically just Russia, isn't it, Belarus? So, yeah, there we go. 211k on the thing. We'll probably do 150 maybe. We killed miles this morning. I think I had a really good night's sleep last night, so when you wake up and you've had a good night's sleep, you get on the bike and you're really kind of hungry to do some miles. I mean, I'm trying to split this journey up sort of 50-50 in terms of, kind of getting mileage done, but then also seeing countries. I saw a good bit of Latvia, obviously went to Riga, and then, Lithuania, obviously went into that guy's coin shop. He was, really lovely chap. Saw Kaunas, and now Poland, but we're going to stay in Krakow. I never really know how to pronounce it. We're staying in Krakow, not tonight, but tomorrow night. And I think I'm going to stay there. I think I might just have a day just kind of walking around and exploring. I'll find a hotel with some fairly secure parking. And God, I love that. I love the European biker wave. Obviously you can't do it in the UK because you can throw a hand, but I think I'll find a hotel with some fairly secure parking, and then I can just leave the bike there, put all the stuff in the room, and then go and explore Krakow a little bit. So should be good. Anyway, stay tuned, and I'll talk to you shortly. Bye! That's just typical, ain't it? Rain. I'm hiding under nature's umbrella. I was literally parked just down there having some food, and saw this massive cloud. That massive cloud coming over. And I thought, oh, I'll put my waterproofs on just in case. And then, yeah, like 30 seconds of just... And then it just, no, it's just like a really slow trickle, but managed to seek shelter under a tree, which is pretty good. I've had a little look at campsites and stuff, and there is a campsite down there, wild camping, but yeah, there's also a hotel for like 30 quid. So I think my plan is I'm going to ride down there. It's going to be about 5 o'clock by the time I get there. Check out the area. If there's a good spot and it hasn't rained as well, obviously, you don't want the ground to be wet because I haven't got a ground sheet, then I'll camp. If it's not, then I'll try and find a hotel and I'll just book into a hotel for the night. But yeah, we will do some camping. I think we will do some camping today. Oh, that ain't it. I thought that was a camping site, or a wild camp spot, but there's nowhere down there really. Okay, let's try again. Oh, I'll tell you what, I got so fed up of looking for that wild spot. This is where we ended up. Little campsite. I think I'm actually, I don't know if I'm technically supposed to be parked behind those trees, but the guy over there was like, yeah, anywhere near the trees is camping. And I don't know, there's a caravan there, so fuck it. Yeah, this campsite was like, the campsite I was looking for is in those trees. There's a river here, it's connected to that river, and they reckoned there was like a wild camp spot near like a fishing point on the river. And I rode up and down that road loads. You saw me ride down the dirt road. I couldn't find anything. So anyway, for the sake of 10 quid, 50 zloty, I thought, do you know what? Like, it's 5:30, nearly 6 o'clock now, and I just want to pitch up tent, and also nothing about a campsite. Over there, there's a fridge, and I'm guessing there's going to be beers in the fridge. The petrol warning light's also been on for the past like 60k. So I've just had a little look on the old Google, and there's a petrol station in the town, which is, I'm guessing, that town over there. There's a petrol station there, so I'll nip that tomorrow morning. We are pretty much a day ahead of schedule now. We were meant to get to Warsaw tomorrow, and Warsaw is basically the direction of those trees over there. So in theory, we're a day ahead. So we're staying in Krakow tomorrow. We're going to get a hotel there, somewhere with sort of fairly decent parking for the bike, and then I might just spend 2 days in Krakow, or ride there, spend that day there, and then spend another day there just walking around and having a look around. Maybe, don't know, who knows. And then I also planned another rest day in Budapest, but I think I'm going to move that back to maybe Croatia, I think, just because there's some islands in Croatia I want to go to. I went there about 4 years ago, went to this lovely little island, and I might go back to it because I had such a lovely time there. I know I'm going to be staying in Croatia for 4 days anyway, but it's just such a lovely place. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, I'll get the campsite set up now. We've got to go and pay the man. Hopefully he takes a card. I reckon he does. I reckon if I buy a few beers as well, I reckon there'll be a card machine in there. And then yeah, apart from that, no real dramas. I left my toothbrush in the last hotel, so I had to go to Lidl and buy myself some toothbrushes and some toothpaste. And then yeah, bike's doing good. She's absolutely filthy, but that's all right. Don't mind a dirty go every now and again. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to set the camp up. I'll see you in a bit. Alright, boys and girls. Look at that. Look at that. It is literally just me here. There you go. Yeah, we are expecting some rain in the early hours of the morning. So I've got the actual fly sheet pegged out as well, just to keep off the inside of the membrane. Tyres were a little bit flat. I thought I could feel that just kind of coming out on the twisties. We dropped a few PSI in the rear, and it was feeling a little bit slippery. In other news, I've also inflated, if I can get it, the Oxford adventure seat pad thing. 2 reasons I've done that. First reason being, when it rains, if you're sat in the saddle, your bum gets really wet. Whereas if you're on one of those air seats, the water kind of goes through the seat and then runs down the channels and then out again, so you don't really get a wet bum. Second being, I'm just putting in miles, man, and that saddle is comfy enough, but it's not I'm having to stand up a bit more and get off and stretch and do that sort of stuff. And that's when I'm doing 3-4 hours on the bike. By the time I get to an hour and a half, I need to stop and have a little stretch. But I just thought I'd try it because it packs down really small and it fits in this pannier, this little saddlebag. Packs down really small, so I was like, well, try it. If it works, great, and if it doesn't, I'll just stick it in the bag again. But past that, yeah, no real dramas. Gonna have a good night's sleep. Still need to pay the guy for the campsite. His card machine wasn't working, so I'm just gonna pay him tomorrow morning when I leave. Yeah, gonna get a fairly early night and then try to get up sort of fairly early. We're only going to Krakow tomorrow, which is, yeah, like 2.5 hours, I think. So we're going to fill the bike up with fuel and then take, we're going to try and hop on the Trans-Euro Trail. We need to find out where I need to go to get onto it. Hop on the Trans-Euro Trail for a bit and then, yeah, head to Krakow. And then I'm going to try and find a hotel. Maybe stay in Krakow for like a day or two, just because I'm ahead of schedule. So if I could spend like a whole day just kind of hanging out in Krakow, I feel like that'd be quite fun. Be nice to like not be on the bike for, you know, a week straight, basically. But yeah, apart from that, signing off this one. The tent and my lovely campsite in just outside of Warsaw. Yeah, really enjoying this trip so far. Got 10 days left until I'm due to be in Croatia to see my girlfriend. So yeah, 10 days more of riding. Well, probably about 8 days more of riding. I think I've got 2 rest days put in there. And then by the time, like when we get down to Croatia, the riding becomes quite sparse. I've only got like 130k, 170k to do some days, so I'll probably be able to buy myself another rest day. So like I said, I'm going to try and go to those islands just off the coast of Split, and then do some camping on those islands as well, because that's beautiful out there. But yeah, apart from that, see you guys tomorrow morning on the bike bright and early, probably at a fuel station, and then we're going to jump on the trail and do some trail riding tomorrow. So that should be fun. From what I've seen, the trails around here, it's probably going to be quite flat. Hopefully it doesn't rain too much. And yeah, they'll be quite dry and a lot of the trails in Poland are like kind of muddy dirt trails, which I prefer so much more than gravel. Like the gravel that you saw me do in Sweden was just my worst nightmare. So yeah, do some mud, like dirt trails, which would be super fun because these tyres are super grippy on like this kind of stuff. So like dirty, muddy, grassy stuff. So yeah, hopefully we'll do a bit of that tomorrow, and then we'll end up in Krakow, find a nice hotel, and then yeah, just hang out for a day or two, and then yeah, crack on. I think after that we're going to Czech, we're going to Brno, and then we are going to Budapest after that, and then that's when we start heading down into sort of like Serbia and Bosnia. So yeah, good stuff. Anyway, I'm yawning. I'm going to shut up, and yeah, I can hop in the tent soon. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you in a bit.